Strange, a Twin Peaks rewatch podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Kim.
And we're back after a short while, because it was mostly because it was too hot.
Very, very hot here.
And we were feeling under the weather, or other things came up. There was a whole succession of things that got in the way.
But we're here now.
We're here now with antifreeze-like alcohol, so the slightly drunken Twin Peaks.
To clarify, we've made some sort of kind of spritzery cocktail that's theoretically blue raspberry flavour.
Yeah.
But if you hear the ice cubes clinking, it's us just living our best lives here.
Anyway, I have some news.
Oh, yeah.
So, the X-Files news. So, we've got two things. We've got one new thing and one old thing. So, the new thing is Ryan Coogler's X-Files reboot sets Amy Madigan, Steve Buscemi, Ben Foster, and more in guest roles.
Okay, curious.
Which is noted by some people is very contrary to how the X-Files used to do things, where they used to cast basically unknowns.
True, yeah.
I think Polygon might have noted it's the hilarious thing of they somehow hit a succession of people who blew up. Like, Ryan Reynolds is in there in a blink and miss it role.
And Jack Black
was in there. And the number of people, but we know that Fluttershy is in there, of all people.
You did get a couple of big names in there, though, like Jodie Foster doing a voice.
Yes, and a blink and miss it, and she actually shows up in the episode. Yes, but it's meant to be the whole sort of the focus is meant to be on the big stars, and with a few exceptions. Like, as much as we like him, we're going to say the lead singer of Spinal Tap isn't a huge household name, Michael McKean.
Michael McKean?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's fairly big because of Better Call Saul.
Well, I suppose so. This is before, though, wasn't it?
I guess so. Morris was most known for Spinal Tap,
Yeah,
I guess, before then.
And I'm sure he did other things, but that's the thing I would gravitate towards. Or one of their other films.
Yeah.
So the other news is we're still ahead of it, just about this will be after this episode comes out, unfortunately, is X-Files I Want to Believe, the director's cut.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Apparently, this was mooted long ago, and I don't think we ever bothered actually checking if it existed, because we didn't enjoy the experience that much. But yeah, apparently it's going to Disney Plus. There's a director's cut, because apparently the version went out in the cinema was one version. On DVD, there were a few extra minutes, because I do vaguely remember the version we got hold of is the slightly expanded version. And I think it's really trivial extra bits more than Scully are in there, and that's what you get extra.
Okay.
But this is the true director's cut that apparently he's been working on for a few years. It's due to premiere on the 11th of June.
Okay, cool. Do we know how much longer it is?
Let me have a see. I don't know if they actually have said. Not in this article, at least. We'll have to compare runtimes.
Curious.
But apparently it was that he made it... Chris Carter, at least, is claiming he made it too scary and is told they wanted a PG-13, so he had to cut it right the way down.
Ooh, I'm on board with more scares.
On the other hand, though, you've got to say, how? How in that premise and that plotline are you getting more scary out of that situation?
Well, you are bearing in mind that some of the subsequent times the, whatever we're calling that kind of alien appears are more grisly. Like the Alien-esque one where it bursts out of a person.
Ah, no, I want to believe. Not Fight the Future, I want to believe.
Oh, Feck, the second one.
The second one.
Sorry, I shouldn't have sworn.
You said Feck, it's fine. Yeah, no. Because Rob Bowman directed the first one, Chris Carter did the second one. So, yeah, not Fight the Future, that's the same as it always was.
Oh, I'm even more curious now.
Exactly, it's like, what was it like to be scary?
Gimme Dogman.
You might get Dogman, I don't know, but I don't know, there's honestly no idea what's going to be.
I do remember in the early press releases, there were shots of like a kind of werewolf man or a man with a wolf's head. I want my Dogman back.
Well, maybe. But for it to be genuinely scary, how much have they had to cut out of that film? I'm genuinely curious as to what it's going to be like.
Oh, I'm more interested in watching this one now. I'm sold.
I still don't think there's anything wrong with Fight the Future, really, other than it's not quite as revelatory as people made out. But yeah, I'd quite happily take a new I Want to Believe. I'll say we'll watch it and we'll either do, depending on how we find it, we can either do a full episode on exactly how it's different, or we'll just sort of do a sum up next time or something.
We're definitely going to watch it, right?
Yeah, we can watch it this Friday.
Yay!
Anyway, do you have anything else?
No, I've got no gossip. I have been avoiding social media lately because I didn't want the Amazing Digital Circus finale to be spoiled for me.
And now we can spoil all of that for all you listeners. Ha ha ha!
We're not going to spoil it. We're going to be good.
Well, as I said to you after watching it, it's a one where, yes, there are spoilers, but actually explaining it to someone is going to be very difficult. It's not an easy thing to spoil, is it?
No, it's not. Please don't spoil it.
I won't, just
Be good.
I'm being good. I'm just saying it's like a few other things where people have been really wound up about spoilers. It's that I could do it, but it's going to take a long time. It's a lot of like, right, so you remember this bit. So...
But literally, I've spent half a week off social media avoiding these spoilers so I could enjoy it in the cinema.
Yes.
And I've got to say, it was a cinema experience as well. I've never been to a screening surrounded by fans in cosplay who are so interactive before.
Yes, I mean, there was a case to be made. It was like, shut up. It's not an audience participation film. What are you doing? And also, as I said to you afterwards, it's how many of the parents have watched the rest of the series to have any idea what's going on? Or are they saying, this is half an hour of people crying. What am I watching here? And cynically, we also made the point of, we're pretty sure that the average skew of the people there, it's Amazing Digital Circus, if you're not familiar with it, is, there's definitely some I have no mouth, I must scream in there as the major inspiration.
They have outright said that it is inspired by I Have No Mouth, but Must Scream by Harlan Ellison.
And it's like a lot of early 2000s anime, because there's a whole glut of these with the I'm trapped in the virtual world and can't get out for reasons that don't make a lot of sense.
You're talking about Sword Art Online.
I actually wasn't. I was thinking Hack-san.
Oh, Hack-san, yeah, that does do the same
Sword
thing.
Art Online is the more recent incarnation
Yeah.
about Log Horizon, I think is one of them. That told you about the Otherland series of books, which also does this as a trick.
I do think it's kind of fun because I've seen a whole new generation of people who have discovered I Have No Mouth through the Amazing Digital Circus. And if you are coming off that basis, just be aware that it is a completely different animal.
Yeah, it's much more adult.
Very adult, very graphic, very life-changing read.
On that note, though, we made the observation that Amazing Digital Circus has the odd thing of there's nothing that actually puts it outside of an 8 to 12-year-old audience in terms of what's acceptable for them to see. It's clearly not intended for the audience to actually enjoy or pick apart. It's what it's aiming for is not what they're going to get out of it.
It's more a character study, and it's one of those slow burn series where you have to watch a few episodes before you realise the kind of nature of the beast.
Yes, and I mean, maybe the kids are going to surprise me, but I would be very surprised if 90% of that cinema understood what Gooseworks was actually trying to do with Digital Circus and are here for something other than what they got. I don't know. That's just my read of it. It's kind of like when we went to see Godzilla -1 and there was a Cub Scout troop in front of us, in the row in front of us, and it's like, are you actually here for the right film? Are you not here for Godzilla vs. King Kong, which feels a lot more your speed? This is a very adult Godzilla film.
I think that is also an argument to be made with Godzilla, because the evolution of Godzilla movies, I am going to bore you slightly here, as a connoisseur, is the fact that they were originally aimed at adults, but very quickly in Toho, the Japanese company that makes them, skewed them into being kids' movies.
Yeah.
And so -1 was a kind of return to form where this once again was a Japanese-made adult Godzilla movie, which I'd argue Shin Godzilla is as well, but I'm getting off tangents. But at the same time, the original movies were a huge allegory for the atomic bomb, particularly the strike of Hiroshima. So what you have got there is not something that's actually targeted at children. Children might enjoy seeing the big monster destroy a city, but that's not actually what the film's about.
Yes, and a lot of the scenes don't involve anything to do with the monsters.
Whereas if you're looking at the Monsterverse in America, it very much is a film about a big monster destroying a city.
Yes, and also this was such a concern at the time that I even left the cinema before the film started to go and check with an usher that they were actually in the right screening, because it's that I don't understand why this Cub Scout group is here.
Yeah.
It's like, you're clearly in the wrong screen. It should be the one down the hall. I don't know what they thought of it, because obviously they're not privy to the conversation.
And of course it was subtitled too.
And it was subtitled. It says that this is not an 8-year-old's kind of thing. We are here for a very different reason you are. You've just seen Godzilla and said, I'll be the new one. No, it's a different one entirely. Anyway. Okay, so if we've got nothing else, I imagine we must get to Twin Peaks. This is The Orchid's Curse, directed by Graham Clifford, written by Barry Pullman, and first broadcast on the 27th of October 1990. If you'd like to tell us what the log lady has to say for herself this time.
I would. Sometimes nature plays tricks on us and we imagine we are something other than what we truly are. Is this a key to life in general, or the case of the two-headed schizophrenic? Both heads thought the other was following itself. Finally, when one head wasn't looking, the other shot the other right between the eyes and, of course, killed itself.
Sure, why not? Cooper awakes to tell Diane that he dreamt he was eating a large tasteless gumdrop, only to discover he was chewing on one of his earplugs. While doing a headstand, he spots Audrey's note under the bed which says she's going to One-Eyed Jack's. Hawk reports to Harry that 2 retired school teachers live next door to the Palmer's old place, and they have no memory of a grey-haired man living next door. Lucy tells Harry that she'll be visiting her sister and her new nephew for 2 days. Cooper tells Harry he knows what Audrey is. Tim Pinkle, new character, explains to Bobby and Shelley the workings of a harness to move a man from a bed to a chair. Shelley says that the hearing for Leo is today, and they walk outside as the harness swings Pinkle back and forth. Judge Sternwood holds court in the Roadhouse. The district attorney urges that Leyland be held without bail, with Harry speaking in his defence. The judge releases Leyland on his own recognizance, and Ben leaves after the ruling is announced. Donna visits Harold again, and offers to be part of his living novel if he lets her read Laura's diary. Harold says he will read it to her, but he will not let her take it away. Harold takes a notebook and the secret diary out of a shelf, and when Donna asks about him to tell about himself, Harold says he grew up in Boston, then corrects himself to say he grew up in books. Donna says dreams might be real, and then playfully takes the diary outside. Harold follows her and then collapses. The judge examines evidence against Leo. Leo's attorney, Jack Racine, argues that since Leo is brain dead, trying him would be a mockery. District Attorney Darrell Lodwick argues they must proceed in order to give the town a sense of justice. The judge pulls Harry and Cooper aside to ask if they think Leo is guilty, and if the town needs an immediate trial. The judge concludes that he will deem Leo not competent to stand trial, and recommend that he be sent home. Sherwood also advises Cooper to keep his eyes on the woods, after Cooper says he's been there 12 days. Big Ed and Nadine return home. James greets them, and Nadine asks who he is, convinced she is still in high school. Ben enters his office and is met by Mr. Chojimura. The man makes a big offer for a Ghostwood development project and says that Tokyo Bank is ready to move immediately. He gives Ben a check for $5 million. Ben receives a call from Canada asking if Ben is ready to play. Ben asks to talk to Audrey, and John says that can wait and instructs Ben to leave them where to leave the money. Ben gives Cooper the briefcase full of money in serialized denominations, and Cooper tells Ben to stay near the phone and leaves. Ben instructs Hank to make sure that Cooper and the money are delivered and to bring back Audrey. Maddie and Donna examine a floor plan of Harold's home. Donna explains how to get Laura's diary and says she will signal with a flashlight. John practices with wristblade as he and Blackie eat fresh fruit. Blackie asks questions about how to make the deal work, while Nancy, Blackie's sister, returns and Blackie leaves. Nancy says she's waited long enough for Blackie. Andy works the phones at the police station and office, and his body is covered in post-it notes. He calls for results of his semen analysis and discovers his sperm count is back to normal. He proudly declares he is a whole damn town. Harry and Cooper also examine a floor plan, but one of One-Eyed Jack's. Horrocks reports that no one has seen the one-eyed man at his hotel in 2 days. He found the same drug and describes its strange smell. Hawk leaves and Cooper and Harry continue there to plan their approach. Andy calls the number where Lucy is supposed to be and discovers it is actually for an abortion clinic. Maddie orders a cup of coffee to go at the diner, and James asks why, and Maddie leaves quickly. Maddie watches Harold's house through the bushes. Donna is inside giving Harold a memory of the time she and Laura were 13 and seduced some men at the Roadhouse. Harold says the story is beautiful. Cooper and Harry creep towards One-Eyed Jack's. A guard smokes outside, and an owl stares at Cooper and hoots. Harry incapacitates the guard, and they walk inside. They search through One-Eyed Jack's, and Harry sees the back of John and Blackie, while the surveillance tape is paused on a television. Blackie asks John why he likes Nancy better. Maddie continues to look through the bushes, while Harold tells Donna about raising orchids, and they kiss gently. He leaves, and Donna signals through the window with a flashlight. Cooper continues through One-Eyed Jack's and finds Nancy and forces her to take him to Audrey. Nancy pulls a knife, but Cooper anticipates this and overpowers her. He carries Audrey away. John kisses Blackie and then kills her with the wristblade, and then sees Harry watching through the window and fires at him before fleeing. Cooper and Audrey reunite with Harry, but are confronted by a bodyguard with a gun. A knife is suddenly thrown into the bodyguard's back, and Hawk reveals himself, commenting that Dale and Harry could not keep a secret. The four flee. Hank calls Ben to report the officers are leaving with Audrey just as John puts a gun to his neck. John finds the prosecutor's ID in Hank's pocket and believes it to be his. Donna tries to silently instruct Maddie to access the secret compartment while Harold gives her an orchid. Maddie finds the secret compartment, but the shelf crashes to the floor. Harold sees Maddie and grabs a sharp gardening rake. Donna rushes over to Maddie, making Harold realize they're in cahoots. Both angered and saddened at her betrayal, he asks Donna with tears in his eyes if she was really only trying to get close to him to steal his secrets. He calls the girls and tells them that he alone holds Laura's ultimate secret, the secret of who killed her. He cuts his face with the rake in agony as Donna and Maddie cower in fear.
Cheers.
It's a bit of a weird one.
Lots of stuff happening there.
There is. I had a weird reaction to the start of this episode, which is cast your mind back a few weeks, of course. But we had the thing with Coop meeting Harry out of hours at the Roadhouse in order to do his clandestine thing, which doesn't seem to have happened because it must be this must be what's happening in this episode. The implication of that, I thought, was the fact they were going to go and do it that night.
Yeah, I thought so.
And that Coop had figured out, based on all context clues, where Audrey had to be. So it put me in mind, of all things, of My Immortal.
Oh my, you're going to have to explain My
I'm
Immortal
going to explain
to
My
people.
Immortal. If you're unfamiliar with My Immortal, it is theoretically a fanfic of the series we try not to talk about much. So it has so little bearing on it, it's basically irrelevant as any kind of context for it. I watched a brief video of it earlier, and it's the author has no love for the franchise, like at all. She will just rename characters, and it's all just background stuff.
To clarify, because we do not speak its name, it is the British
The
young
Wizarding
adult
Book.
TV series. Yes, the Wizarding Book.
The Wizarding
it is
Book,
a fan
yeah.
fiction of.
So, My Immortal is a very famous fanfic written between 2006 and 2009, posted to fanfiction.net. Theoretically set at the school with a Mary Sue protagonist who is called, technically first time, I always did it wrong.
Enemy.
No, it's Ebony Dementia Darkness Raven Way.
Frequently spelt wrong.
Frequently spelled wrong, frequently in OB, and the other spelling goes weirder from there. It is an experience to read. It's become very famous in certain circles just for the spelling mistakes, the lack of adherence to character, the flippant attitude to basically everything, the goth attitude, the goth stylings, the fashions. It's a trip to read. There's nothing else quite like it. Anyway, I bring this up because there's a really kind of famous error in the text where it gets into this weird repetitive loop where the characters will go to Hogsmeade to see a concert of someone who shouldn't be anywhere near Hogsmeade, and in this example, it's Good Charlotte.
Right.
Poor people. The point of this is like they go to see Good Charlotte and having a great time. Then the lead singer tears off his mask and reveals it's actually Voldemort the entire time.
Of course.
And because of this error, this happens twice in quick succession. But what seems to have happened is they do the setup for they're going to go to the concert, and they go to the concert, and Voldemort pulls off the mask. And then it just abruptly cuts back to school, and it's the day before the concert's happened. And it's like, she's pasted the wrong bit of text over a different bit of text.
I see.
So you get this really... Because then they didn't go to the concert, the exact same sequence of events happens, and no one says anything. But it puts me in mind of this one of... whoever wrote this script, did they not actually see how the last one finished? And they said, okay, we've got to do the build to rescuing Audrey. Because there's no good reason for the delay.
And now Cooper's suddenly in bed.
Yeah. It's like, because he seems like he's really tired and had an exhausting night's sleep. And it's like, what were you doing with Harry? Fanfic writers, I know what you're going to say here. No, come on. Coop, we can say on record as well, Coop is extraordinarily straight, and so is Truman.
Coop's very open-minded.
He is very open-minded, but all his relationships on record are with women. To our knowledge, anyway. We've never delved into it. I'm sure there is actually a raft of Truman Coop fanfic out there. I'm sure it's very popular.
Or Coop Denise when we get to Denise.
So, we're back in Twin Peaks, and we've rescued Audrey at long bloody last.
Hooray!
Hey.
How long has she been kidnapped? About 5 episodes
It's
now?
something like it's been a long time now, and Cooper really should have figured it out faster than he did. There's no good reason why he didn't.
He has finally found the note as well, where she basically says, Cooper, I am going to One-Eyed Jack's.
It's not subtle. I think it's odd that the episode has that recurring motif about floor plans, and it's Donna showing Maddie the floor plan makes sense, and that's fairly simple. Coop's is, right, so this is what the layout of the top floor looks like. I don't know what happens below floor, because I've never been down there.
Yeah.
But I'm very sure Audrey's over here. And he keeps looking at the map when he's going through the corridors, and I can't discount because Cooper is kind of psychic at the same time. How are you doing this? How do you think you're going to find Audrey given you just keep wandering hallways until you run into her?
I feel we're kind of removing One-Eyed Jacks as a location now as
Yeah.
well, especially with the presumable death of Blackie in this episode.
I think she's pretty toast.
Mm.
I kind of like how the whole plan that Jean Reno has just fallen apart in a way that no one foresaw. At the same time, I think you commented after that when Hawk stabs someone in the back, it's like, how many laws have we broken at this point?
Got the breaking and entering, assault, kidnapping, murder.
Yeah, murder's still illegal in Canada, guys, and you are...
Oh, across the border, it's fine.
you're part of the police force, so you're probably going to have the book thrown at them even harder.
It's not even, that he's gone in as a cop or guns blazing. He's literally thrown a Bowie knife into the guy's back.
Yeah. And you do have to say, it's like, why didn't you just trust Hawk at the time? I mean, I know that Cooper's trying to do damage limitation by asking for a bookhouse boy. But then Truman threw out the window by sort of saying, I'm the best bookhouse boy, so I'll go along with you. Which is very sweet, yes. At the same time, that's unimaginably more illegal than having the bookhouse boys at the best of times.
It's not even the sheriff's secret police if the sheriff's gone.
Yes. Well, it kind of is. We're never going to let go of that one, is it? It's like, we should check at some point if that's a conscious nod.
Yeah.
It can't not be, but I suppose it could just be a strange thing to say. But hopefully Audrey will get to do something more than lie in a bed in a drug stupor shortly, because this seems to be all she's done for a long while.
Yeah, true.
It's disappointing. And as you said, I think, we're done with One-Eyed Jacks. Although...
Jean Reno's still alive, though.
Yeah.
He did have that weird bit where he's kind of misidentified Hank as a district prosecutor, despite the fact that
There's a photo ID.
It's a photo ID. It looks nothing like him. And the guy in the photo is about twice the size of Hank.
Yeah. And apparently he's unfazed that he's lost his ID, given that he saw him in the courtroom scene.
Yeah, true.
I think we're going to have to dwell on the courtroom scene, given that it's a little bit of looking to the future, but it's like that Roadhouse room is going to be the denouement of a few significant scenes from here on.
I thought it's kind of curious, given that, admittedly, I'm going back to like every Western movie I've ever seen, but every town in America seems to have a courthouse.
Yeah.
But Twin Peaks, despite the fact it's got a population of
50,000.
At least 5,000 people, you would think that in a populace of 5,000 people, it would warrant having a law court.
You would. I mean, we're getting into that strange ambiguity of what the town even looks like, because we've never seen an aerial shot of Twin Peaks. We have no idea of actually what it looks like.
I thought it was interesting this episode when you realise that the Great Northern is right on a main road.
Yeah, that's never been clear
because from the other angle, it always looks like it's very secluded and wooded.
Mm.
But obviously, it's got to have some way that people can get to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, you could ask, it's speculative, and I'm sure the production notes will say whether that's the same one from the original shooting.
Yeah.
But it's something like they shot all the location stuff in like a few days before the series actually began properly.
Mm.
And so this will be them going back to getting some different footage to sort of spice it up so you don't have the same shots of the Double R Diner.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's very odd that I don't know, everything about having the courtroom in the Roadhouse, and the fact it is the Roadhouse of all places.
It's got some really interesting little quirks to that, and again, it's part of the surreality of Twin Peaks. But I like the fact that they've just shuffled all the peanuts on the floor, the peanut shells, to either side of the room and made this kind of causeway down the middle for it.
You kind of want to, and it's all part of Twin Peaks, but it's one of those nagging details at the back of it. It's like, you could have just swept everything up, guys.
You even see, like, Ben Horn sat at the bar cracking more peanuts onto it during the proceedings.
They're all his, actually. It turns out they actually did sweep the floor and he just like filled the room with them. That's just him.
And then that bit halfway through where the judge calls a recess and they just go and get a drink at the bar.
Yeah, it's like, usually I think you meant to go into different rooms so people can't hear what you're saying, but no, you're just going to do it in the open.
I wondered at first if the rest of the room had cleared out, but you can still see kind of in some of the shots that there are people still sat in the pews behind him.
I feel we've got the very typical, what feels like the prototypical American prosecutor thing of Leo must stand trial despite the fact he's brain dead.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to mount a defence. I think this is unfair. Most people would say that's unfair.
I've heard some tremendous lapses in US courts, and it is a bit of
What is wrong with you?
Well, an opinion we have on them. Like, there was a famous case recently where a cat was called up to a jury service.
Yeah.
And even though they wrote to people, I think it was that the family wrote it on the census as a bit of a joke that their child was, Stevie Wilson or whatever this cat's called. And then Stevie Wilson got a court summons and they had to write and say, no, sorry, that's our cat. And they still wouldn't recant this call summons.
The refusal to accept that you were wrong about something or misunderstood something is just quite galling.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the joke in Arrested Development when they get Franklin onto the witness list.
Yes, the puppet.
The Joe's puppet is on the witness list.
It's that kind of image, particularly we have in the UK, and I know we've got tons of problems too, don't get me started. But the fact that America is so bureaucratic that they can't deviate.
Yeah, well, it's also the refusal to accept that you were wrong in the first place, and that if the evidence that supported your case to try someone was wrong or invalid, that you don't automatically undo the conviction because surely it doesn't apply anymore if you're...
Did you see the one on the news lately with the one-armed woman being sent to trial? Which seems also tangentially appropriate with America with a one-armed man. But it was a woman who was stopped by the police because they said that...
Yeah, she was using her phone.
They saw she was using her phone, and he specifically said, I can see that you've got your phone in your left hand. And she held up her hand, she didn't have one. Yeah. And she just said to him on this body cam footage, do you want to reconsider? And he would not back down. And it wound up going to trial and, of course, was immediately thrown out because he specifically said, I saw a phone in her left hand, and she obviously couldn't.
The whole weird prosecutor mindset, and also the fact that some people go, no smoke without fire for all kind of crimes. It's like, the police are fallible.
They're human.
They are human just as you, so that's why they have body cams in some contexts.
But at the same time, like in the case of this, you'd kind of hope him to say, whoa, sorry, ma'am, my mistake, off you go.
Yeah, but at the same time, if someone isn't intellectually capable of defending themselves at trial, it's like, there's nothing good going to come of this.
There's not even any argument with Leo because they have said he's functionally brain dead and can't respond.
Yeah, so
and yet you've still got a prosecutor here arguing he absolutely must stand trial. Yeah. Oh, what are you going to do when he takes a stand and just sits there?
Well, I have a sneaky suspicion what they'd do is it would be trying an absentia. So if you don't turn up to a trial, they will rule against you basically every time.
Mm.
The original point, though, is it is very odd that Twin Peaks doesn't have a courthouse or anything like it, and the town is so ambiguous at this point, because we know there's very few concrete locations in it.
You don't even really get an impression of its suburbia.
No.
We know there's a diner, a petrol station, a pub, and a hotel.
Yep.
And the police station.
And
that's about all we know.
And a hospital.
A hospital. And because all we've seen beyond there are like the interior of 2 or 3 houses.
Well, we know there's a bandstand in a park, but more than that,
there must be a school, though we haven't seen much of it.
We have seen the interior of the school.
Yeah. We haven't really seen much exterior.
Yeah, it's an interesting contrast to something like Gravity Falls. Because Gravity Falls has, like, a main street.
Yeah.
That Twin Peaks does not have.
Yeah, true.
And presumably it's meant to be just sort of just flouting the typical... This feels like David Lynch's decision of, you're not going to see downtown... I know department store. We know there's a department store. There's some form of commercial district there, but the rest of it is so ambiguous.
You think of the layout of being these really old American towns as basically being one long main street that everything has grown out from.
Yes.
As well, because you get that, again, sort of a Western movie main street where you've got your saloon and your law house and all the rest of it. And over time, it's just expanded outwards.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking now, oddly enough, of Buffy, which is in the news because Andy Stewart Head unfortunately passed away this week.
I know, I'm devastated.
It's really sad because he was really good at stuff. Anyway, the point though is that Buffy, I think for season 1, some of season 2, like the actual shopping area of Sunnydale was not depicted once.
I think it's when they're not at school, they mainly go to the Bronze.
Yeah, but it was like it's a bit like Twin Peaks where there wasn't a center of the town per se.
No.
For a good while, and I think Twin Peaks commits to this. I don't think we ever get an idea of what downtown Twin Peaks actually looks like.
Yeah.
Which is a stark contrast to Gravity Falls, which definitely you can visualize what downtown Gravity Falls looks like.
Yeah,
do show it a few times, and because I've recently played it, Deadly Premonition. Although Deadly Premonition streets all look exactly the same, so that doesn't help.
Even when I shameless plug, played through Alan Wake for the sake of this podcast.
Yeah, you know what the main street of, of Bright Falls looks like.
You go through Bright Falls a few times and you actually run down the streets in a few levels, so you've got the idea of what it's like.
It's an interesting comment then that you have that ambiguity about Twin Peaks when it's one of the big influences on Silent Hill, and you've got to imagine that they pulled the shape of Silent Hill more from Kindergarten Cop. So we know that that's the two things that influenced Silent Hill.
It's Midwich Elementary School in the original Silent Hill.
It's just
it's
every
the school
shot.
from Kindergarten Cop.
Every shot you can pull it back to Kindergarten Cop.
And you can't unsee it once you realise that.
But I imagine that more of the town has to be pulled from that because you can't extrapolate much from Twin Peaks. You need an American town layout from somewhere. It's weird. It's part of the dreamscape of Twin Peaks, though, the fact that even the town itself is so ambiguous to us. There's no sense of it. What else happened in this episode?
Andy
and Lucy. Lucy, what are you doing?
Oh, Lucy's got no support network. It's entirely understandable. And Dick is a dick.
Yes, it's a bit of a surprise revelation after the previous blowouts.
Especially as in the previous episode, she showed reticence to have an abortion when Dick pressed it.
Yeah, I'm glad the synopsis actually said that because I couldn't actually make out what Andy was saying.
Oh, did you not realise what it was?
No, I thought it was just she wasn't where she was meant to be. I didn't realise it was actually like that. Because it wasn't entirely clear from the audio for me.
Oh, right. No, I thought the implication was quite clear.
But we know that Andy's sperm is back up to standard.
Yay for Andy! I do like his exclamation about it that's followed by Truman going into the room with Cooper and saying, "Don't ask."
Yes. What's happened to the cover? The girl who's meant to be covering Lucy who just seems to have walked out the series before she even got on?
I kind of assumed there never was one and they just didn't want to tell Lucy that Andy was going to be the cover.
Yeah, I suppose it could be that.
But I do like how efficient Lucy is comparatively with Andy, who obviously can't cope, with presumably a very low number of calls coming through as well.
Yes. We know it's not the crime hotspot of the world, Twin Peaks.
Given it doesn't have a courthouse.
But for one thing, yeah. Still not going quite over this one. It's like, what is going on? Bobby and Shelley finally get something to do, although we have Bobby doing something kind of odd that might pick up in future, which is following Hank around. Yeah,
it's just a weird single shot where you see him doing it.
Yeah.
And of course, Bobby's the only one who's aware that Hank shot Leo.
Yes, but we're not sure if that's going to go anywhere.
You also have the weird insurance fraud scene with Bobby setting up the kind of person lift.
Yeah, crane, I think.
Yeah.
As much as Bobby and Shelley seem to be on the same side, there's an implication that he's cheating Shelley out of some of the money. Because they ask her to go and get a cold drink, and then he's talking low voice to Bobby about how when they've both taken a cut from the insurance money, this lift thing apparently is all that's left they can afford. So it's implying that Bobby isn't on the level.
I think it's just poor Shelley's curse is she's become one of these women who will forever be in an abusive relationship. Which is a thing in real life, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You've said if a woman's in one abusive relationship, she's likely to fall into another one, even if she gets out of it.
True. At least Bobby is a different kind of abusive.
He's not physically abusive, but he is financially abusive.
Yes. Which is a shame, because it would be nice for Shelley to have to actually have a happy life.
But I think it's like Cooper pointed out previously, Shelley had this opportunity for a happy life. She could have implicated Leo.
She could have done, and she didn't, for insurance fraud purposes.
And as Cooper inferred, she's going to regret it.
Yes. It's kind of hilarious that Eric DeRay is still in the cast list, but it's he's really not shown up on screen much anymore.
Yeah. I do think you have to note for Shelley, though, in the empathy, that she is a lot younger than you actually think she is when you're watching it.
Yes.
Because, she dropped out of high school to be with Leo.
Yeah, and I'm always not entirely sure how the rules of that work in America. Because it's slightly different to ours.
I don't think they have compulsory education in the same way in America. Because, the fact in the UK, you have to remain in full-time education until you're 16, until you've gone through your GCSEs.
Yeah.
And then you can choose to leave it. I don't think America works in quite the same way. I think you can just drop out without getting a full high school education.
Yeah, but high school does last you 18, so it's...
But at the same time, you can leave and just not have a high school education, therefore.
Yeah.
Whereas in the UK, you might not end with good GCSEs, but you will leave with something.
Yes, you have to go through the testing at some point.
Because I do know some people who had to resit certain GCSEs because they needed a certain grade then to get the job they wanted.
Oh yes, I can think of the same person you're thinking of.
Yes.
kind of a lot happens, but at the same time, it's kind of silent because you've got Coop Truman Action Hour, which was it went off a bit too smoothly. I think there was like very little friction. There were a few
We did have to
hiccups.
punch 2 people in the stomach to get in.
Yes, a punch to the stomach. It just completely incapacitates everyone. Just right out.
It's particularly Blackie's sister when Cooper punches her in the stomach. As much as we can't condone violence against women, she was trying to stab him at the time.
Yeah.
But it is the lightest punch you have ever seen, and she drops like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah. I think there's a lot happened, but a lot of it's kind of actiony stuff. Or actually, before we get to the person you hate, we'll have a brief moment from Nadine. Because Nadine is at the hospital, not giving up on her delusions. She's still back in high school.
And has no idea who Ed is.
No, and is possibly freakishly stronger than she was before.
She's always been freakishly strong because you've
she
seen
might be
her bend
more.
metal before.
She might be more now.
Is it the fridge door she's ripped off or something like that?
I don't know, actually. It sounds like a fridge door, but it doesn't look much like a fridge door. It's a really old-fashioned fridge door.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
still where you hear this metal-wrenching screech and she comes in with it in her hand.
Yeah, it just came off in my hand. Yeah, Big Ed, which is in the comedy vector for Big Ed now, I think.
It must be so weird for James as well, because this is Aunt Nadine now who thinks that she's his age.
Yeah. I did notice it's kind of odd is that they've touched up something about the actress's appearance. They've definitely altered some of her look. I don't know quite what they have done.
I think it's just a makeup and doing her hair a bit better. They've just made her look more youthful.
They have. Yeah, she looks prettier.
Yeah.
She's a lot prettier than she used to. They've definitely changed how she's been styled now.
You can do a lot with a bit of blusher and stuff like that.
Oh, true. But I thought it was really noticeable this episode that they have specifically... They're trying to make her look younger in addition to making her act younger.
I thought it's kind of interesting because she is a really pretty actress as well. The fact that, as Nadine previously, we've always made her look kind of dawdry.
As frumpy as possible, yeah. Well, I think as masculine as possible. They've definitely tried to sort of play into her physical strength more than any other aspect of her. And now we're definitely trying to deviate back to her being more of a cheerleader.
Yeah. No, she never was previously.
No, but I have this faint impression that she's going to make a concerted run at this.
Yeah. She's certainly very preppy.
Yes. Ebony would hate her. Anyway, the person you hate, we will have to talk about Harold.
Oh my god.
He's not doing himself any favours, admittedly.
You mean the fact that he's getting his rocks off on a sexy story about 2 13-year-olds?
Yeah, at the same time, it's I'm aware there's a film called 13 or something, which is about 2 girls at the relevant age.
It was the one that was notoriously
it's 18
kind of
rated,
rated because it was and I'm using air quotes, the realistic depiction of what 13-year-olds are like, which was inappropriate for any 13-year-olds, therefore.
At the same time, though, you want to say, Donna, how on earth did... Laura, I understand, being somehow able to get away with this. Donna, seems to fly in the face of season 1 Donna. I'm not sure, is this story true?
What, the story she tells?
Yeah.
Admittedly, I haven't reread it for this podcast yet, but I have a dim memory that story does appear in The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer.
Okay.
So we are lifting it pretty much verbatim from that.
Well, that's fair. That makes sense. At the same time, though, that's not season 1 Donna.
No.
Nothing about that reads right for Donna anymore. It's like that's very much her new push to be more like Laura, sure.
I don't think it's even the new push. It's more Laura is cognizant of the fact that she's kind of leading Donna down this path more so. Or at least that's how it's portrayed in The Secret Diary.
Yeah.
Of realising the fact that, you've accepted the fact that you're damaged, you're irreparable, and your kind of sweet friend is going down the same path as you because they're emulating you.
Yeah.
Is more what The Secret Diary goes for. We'll find out for definite when we read it.
Yeah, it's just, I think it seems to be the unfortunate problem of writing serially, and apparently neither Mark Frost nor David Lynch really paying much attention because it's I can't square Donna in short, tight skirt with Donna as she appears in the pilot.
I think, as somebody who was formerly a teenage girl, I can totally buy a friend leading you down this path. Because when you're that age, you don't like to seem like you're, for want of a better word, square.
Yeah, I can see that.
You've got this friend who's cooler, she's cooler, she's more experienced than you, she's saying, yeah, let's do this, and you don't want to be the one to say no. Because Donna even does mention in this thing that she could feel that it was wrong.
Yeah.
She says something about feeling the knot in her stomach and things like that.
Fair. I'm still trying to work out what circumstances, though, allowed Donna, age 13, and Laura, age 13, to wind up at the Roadhouse with 20-year-olds.
Surrounded by people who must have known them as well.
Again, you've got the close-knit town. How I can imagine these people from out of town, you never saw them again. Fine. The people actually at the Roadhouse.
The place I grew up is even smaller than Twin Peaks. I grew up in a very rural area of the UK, where if you'd turn up in the pub like this, someone would have recognised you. They would have come to you to check if you were okay, at the very least, or they would have phoned your parents and reported that they'd seen you or something like that. You couldn't have got away with this.
No.
And the thing that bothers me in my ongoing thesis of Harold is a monster is he has agreed to share passages of Laura's, for want of a better phrase, erotic friend fictions. Or Laura's horrible, horrible, abusive diary, which he will read out to her, which we saw last time is not appropriate for public readings.
No.
But also he's said he will exchange it for essentially Donna's stories, which I can buy. He wants stories because he's living other people's lives vicariously because of his agoraphobia. But at the same time, the second she starts talking about her horribly illicit experience as a 13-year-old, he stops writing.
Yes. Wait a minute.
Mm.
You said that story is in Secret Diary of Laura Palmer, the actual official published book.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
And he's read that cover to cover.
He has. So he would have heard this before.
Yeah. I mean, you could take that as justification for why he stopped writing, because he's already heard this.
Mm.
At the same time, though, I think he'd be more willing to write it down, given it must have the slant must be different from whatever Laura says.
Yeah. As I say, if that is not the thing I'm thinking of from the Secret Diary of Laura Palmer, she writes about something very similar happening with her and Donna, so I'm imagining it is the same one.
Yeah, there is, because it looms out there on the fringes, there is a possibility she's writing about there's a scene in Firewalk with Me which also tallies into the same thing.
Mm.
So it's possible she actually means that.
Yeah.
We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, we haven't read that for the podcast yet, but we said we will get to it.
Yeah. My impression of Harold, as much as I know you have a lot of very strong feelings about him, is he was neither conceived to be like that, and also the attitude at the time was a lot different to the attitude now. People weren't thinking those ways. Which I know always seems very strange, but the people did genuinely have really strange opinions back then.
Especially concerning paedophilia, apparently.
Yes, even 40 years ago. I mean, bear in mind, so this is a weird one, so on that note, is Indiana Jones is a sex offender.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, definitely, absolutely.
The film really muddies the water, though. Raiders of the Lost Ark really muddies it. Reading the novelization, you do get how old Marion was at the time. Because when she says she was a child, you find out how much of a child.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they gloss over that as much as they can in the actual film version. But yes, it's like... But that was like 7 years-ish before. When was Raiders? That was like 81, 82?
Early 80s, yeah.
It was between New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, I think, and around time period of Blade Runner. He did a lot of stuff in those 3 years, didn't he? Anyway, but the point is, that was deemed acceptable in Hollywood at the time, and no one makes much of it, except on the odd thing when people say, yeah, you know, Indiana Jones is a complete creep.
As is Harold.
Harold, though, yeah, he's not doing himself any favours. Very obsessed with orchids.
Which do have a very distinct look to them.
Yeah,
There's something about the anatomy of a lot of flowers, particularly orchids, where they do have this kind of female genitalia look to them, I think, as well, which doesn't help his creepiness when he's showing this to Donna in detail.
Yeah, and being seductive.
I think my favourite part of the whole scene, though, is, well, one is the fact he doesn't react when he sees Maddie, whereas most people do.
Yes.
He doesn't suddenly freeze and say, oh my god, it's Laura, like Dr. Jacoby did and others.
I do kind of wonder, I think it's a problem of all the different writers. It's like, was no one stuff to say, he should recognise it, and everyone's still saying, yeah, it's fine.
But I also love, if you noticed it, the goof when he picks up the rake at the end, is the fact that there is evidently blood already on the rake.
Oh, the way he pulls it across the street.
No, when he holds it up, blood drips onto his cheek before he scratches himself.
I was also going to go, just the whole when he scratches on his cheek is like your camcorder films where you're using ketchup as blood. It's very obviously not coming out of his skin.
Yeah.
But that's a good goof.
Yeah, it cracked me up a bit when I watched it. But it's also him going full crazy. I'm sure my feeling is, without remembering, that James is going to gate crash in a second.
He has to, really.
James was very notably following Maddie.
Yeah.
And she went. But I love how he's just gone straight from kind of 0 to 10 on the crazy scale.
I think the only problem with James bursting in is timeline is absolutely screwed. Because he must have followed Maddie, but then he's got to be sat in the bushes just behind her for the hours she spent in a bush waiting
to see her signal.
Yeah. And
I also love the fact that Maddie can't follow instructions in any way, because Donna kind of says...
there's a doohickey on the side.
There's a secret shelf, it's the bottom shelf, and I think there's something to the right that opens it. And you just see her kind of frantically signalling to Donna, who's feeling every single shelf on the way down and down the left side before the right.
Well, I think you've got the odd possibility, I think you made the comment of, why do we need Maddie for this? Because Harold has just left Donna alone long enough for her to shine the flashlight out the window. She could have got that open and pulled the diary and put it back.
Especially she knows exactly where it is.
It's like, again, it's more actually episode, but I don't think anyone was really thinking coherently about how this made sense.
Yeah. All right, we've broken Harold's trust enough times now. I'm sure we can get rid of him shortly.
Do we have anything else for this episode?
No, I think this one has a lot narrower focus than some of the others, and you've covered the main points there.
Yeah. So, next time, and hopefully keeping to a better schedule, unless it gets really too hot, it sounds like an excuse to blame the weather, but it's one of these things where if it gets too hot, we can't do this without the fans running or it being too late in the evening. And we unfortunately have to go and do work normally because no one's given us enough money through Patreon that we don't have to do 9 to 5.
On a related note, give us Patreon money.
Give us Patreon money. So basically, if it gets too hot, we are going to be a bit stuck because we can't do this with fans whirring and blasting us.
It's the fun fact about UK houses, if you don't know in America, is we don't have air conditioning by standard. And our houses are historically designed to trap heat. In the summer, we kind of die a little.
Yes. Hopefully, we'll be on next week, unless it is too hot, in which case, unfortunately, we'll have to postpone things for a while just because it's not possible to cope with the audio will be terrible. So that's our excuse anyway. So for next week is Demons, which has a picture of Leo in a party ad. So welcome back, Eric DeRay, apparently. If you'd like to get hold of us, our email address is thingsargettingstrange42@gmail.com.
You can also get us on social media, and please hook me up if you'd like me to promote anything Twin Peaks or X-Files related at the start of the show. You can find us on Blue Sky and Tumblr at GetStrange42, and on Facebook by searching for Things Are Getting Strange, a Twin Peaks rewatch podcast. Also, if you're not sick of my voice right now, I do stream live on Twitch TV. My main stream is live Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 PM GMT and Saturdays at 5 PM GMT under the name AdverseCamber42. At the moment, we're playing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Digimon Story Time Stranger, and Scarlet Hollow.
Our theme song is Envisioned by Kevin MacLeod. You can find it on Computech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Thank you all for listening, and until next time, please remember,
I'm a whole damn town.